Hey, what's going on everyone? So I purpled Ardyn. If you're curious about what this betrayed and disgraced brother offers to a party, stick around and find out.
失望させるなよ。
Ardyn is a character who goes all in offensively. He has follow-up attacks, respectable overflow on an enhanced basic attack, free turns on break, and even the ability to re-break and force breaks. To start off, I'll explain Ardyn's unique effect, Spectral Charge. The effect is gained or refreshed by breaking an enemy with his skill 1 or his EX, the latter of which is easier to do since the EX can unbreak and at a higher level force breaks. Each level increases Ardyn's overflow with all moves as well as grants him Brave regen based on max bravery. At 3 stacks and higher, he does a follow-up attack similar to Noctis after every offensive attack that has an HP hit. The follow-up itself has 3 hits, raises bravery based on max bravery instead of attack compared to Noctis, and has slight overflow. His skill 1 is Warpstrike, 4 hits into an HP attack. As mentioned a bit ago, breaking a target with this grants him a level of Spectral Charge, and 3 levels of Spectral Charge will give him access to his follow-ups. Furthermore, with any levels of Spectral Charge, he gains enhanced basic attacks, with his Brave Plus getting another hit, and his HP Plus getting 2 hits, slight overflow, and Brave refund based on his max bravery when breaking an enemy. And of course, the follow-up if Spectral Charge is high enough. His skill 2 is Aura of Darkness, 6 group hits that deal split HP damage. It grants Ardyn Shadow Step, which raises his attack, max bravery, and lets him get a free turn when breaking an enemy akin to Lightning and Aranea. Aura of Darkness does not grant Ardyn Spectral Charge, but does initiate a follow-up under the right conditions. His EX meanwhile is Rising Phantom, 3 group hits that deal split HP damage. This move does grant Spectral Charge and will also unbreak all applicable enemies before the Brave hits, meaning you always get a refresh of Spectral Charge as well as a free turn afterwards if Shadow Step is up and you're not already in a free turn. Again, this can trigger a follow-up under the right conditions, and in fact has a plus form at 3 or 4 levels of Spectral Charge, which gives the attack a double cast effect. His EX Plus greatly increases his overall damage as well as his longevity, which is appreciated since the cast is on the slower side. Realization improves the overflow of the EX cast, which is appreciated, but also increases the maximum level of Spectral Charge from 3 to 5, which will become important later on, but is certainly useful all the time. 1 ingot is a stat boost, which is doubly nice because Ardyn has bonus scaling for max bravery in his kit. 2 ingots starts him off with 3 levels of Spectral Charge as well as Shadow Step, immediately giving you follow-ups and letting you get to max stacks much faster. 3 ingots is a very useful upgrade, and is definitely the investment you'll want to give Ardyn if you want to use him as a main damage unit. For 1, it gives base Rising Phantom and the plus form 1 more hit, which is always nice. Furthermore, it grants it a 2+ form at 5 levels of Spectral Charge, a triple cast version that force breaks all enemies and grants Ardyn a free skill cast for all his base skills, which helps a lot with the aforementioned slow recast speed. Lastly, it also further enhances his basic attacks, with both versions getting another hit and the HP 2+ gaining more overflow, making it a very good attack to use when you don't want to skill. As for his LD, he gets Dark Tornado, 8 group hits that deal 50% splash HP damage. Before the Brave hits, he actually drops his HP down to 0 and uses that lost HP as self-battery. The HP loss is treated as proper HP loss and will activate summon effects and passives. It grants him Overkill, which for 1 will keep him from dying because he's kinda at 0 HP, but it also increases his max bravery and attack. When Overkill is cancelled, he's healed for 1 HP, but he can also be healed normally with it active. Outside of any special effects that bypass a character's HP value to kill them, Ardyn with Overkill on cannot be killed by anything. This gives him a lot of soloing power, but by no means makes him any sort of tank. Ardyn fills the primary damage dealer role. The LD passive increases Ardyn's attack. I was very fortunate and got his Burst, which is group Brave attacks into total group HP damage, and after the finisher, it unbreaks all targets. The Burst finisher is Ardyn's only real party supportive effect, as it boosts the party's max bravery and grants them regen based on it while active. This Burst effect has 3 levels of effectiveness and is increased by breaking a target with Ardyn. Ardyn is an interesting character to introduce since we literally just had Noctis, and the two have a few similarities in the way that they deal damage. Free turns, follow-up attacks, free skills. However, Noctis has accessible party benefits via his debuff, launching, party buff via Warp Step, and slight auras. Ardyn, meanwhile, offers no party benefits at all without the rarest part of his kit, the Burst. While they are both damage dealers, Ardyn is a more selfish damage dealer than Noctis, with more attack focused boosts for all of his damage options. Besides that, there's also their very different LD buffs. Nox offers party benefits, while Ardyn's is part of what lets him solo content. All of that isn't to say that Ardyn doesn't deserve any investment, oh no. Like I just said, Ardyn has a strong spot when it comes to soloing content, letting you free up a tier in Dimension's End if you so wish. And of course, as a strong damage unit, he still works great with proper support units. More attack to fuel his follow-up attacks, and more max bravery to help with his overflow and brave return mechanics. Depending on the boss AI, the HP drop from his LD can make him be the most targeted unit, giving the rest of your team extra safety and survivability. But this is simply a side effect of the LD and does not actually mean he offers any sort of attack redirection or lock functionality. Ardyn has yet to be rerun outside of pandemic scheduling, and as such is due for an LD extension and possibly a rework. In terms of a rework, I don't think he would get much. A bit of an increase on his follow-up attacks, either one more hit or better brave gain. If they want to give him both, sure, I'll take it. A double cast version of Aura of Darkness would be neat, keeping the brave hit count but giving it an HP hit after the first 3 hits, but not quite as necessary. In the same vein, I feel like his LD could get a double cast effect, as that'll improve the efficiency of the cast as well as giving him starting overkill. A higher percentage of splash damage would also be pretty neat. Ardyn comes at a weird time, in the context of other characters' weapons arriving around the same time. Noctis was pity-worthy and recommended by many people, and then here comes Ardyn immediately after, offering less party utility than Noctis, but making up for it with high amounts of damage. As such, Ardyn can be considered a secondary choice to a team if you went for Noctis. Using them both in the same team, however, is probably not the best bet, as Warpstrike conflicts with Ardyn's free turns on break. Of course though, even if they don't mesh well, that's not that big of a problem, as there's plenty of team building options for both of them. As for someone coming in the future though, Lightning is expected to get her LD and burst in about 2 months, and she offers a more direct comparison to Ardyn rather than Noctis due to also having free turns on break, but offers more offensive flexibility. More free skills, more EX casts which compromise a large amount of her damage, similarly great non-skill longevity, but also adding in party utility thanks to applying a Thunder Imperil and a unique effect that boosts her own damage as well as giving the party a regen effect. Lightning isn't a better Ardyn per se, but in terms of a unit who offers high damage in few counted turns thanks to free turn mechanics, Ardyn occupies that niche more strongly, but Lightning offers more to the party, giving her more benefit as a whole since most fights you're going to be bringing a party and not just one unit. So yeah, that's a purple Ardyn with already purple skill effects. I'll be honest, he's probably not going to get quite as much use out of me compared to Noctis, but having strong role options for team building is always good, and as a burst unit, he's a valuable pickup for the events that he's synergy in if you don't have any gear or don't have any interest in the following banners. For what it's worth, I am planning on picking up Lightning, so considering I have a full kit Noctis and I'm caught up on Dimension's End, he's currently a luxury pickup for me. But he is a strong, modern option for a damage dealer, and getting his LD now means that whenever he does come back, I won't have to worry about it then. He can be used as a solo Dimension's End filler to rotate out some people, or as a primary damage unit in an upcoming tier. We'll see what happens. If you like this breakdown of Ardyn's kit and want to see others like it or other Opera Omnia content, stick around and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again.